All right, today we are diving into a really terrifying Hindi horror story. It's all about a newlywed couple, a seriously creepy ancestral mansion, and a dark secret that just refuses to stay buried. So let's get into the haunting of the Chausar Haveli. So, the story kicks off with this really chilling piece of folklore, a warning that's given to the bride's new family. There's this tradition in Rajasthan that the smell of raw turmeric can actually make a new bride vulnerable, open to outside forces. It's a huge piece of foreshadowing, basically telling us that something is out there, just waiting for a chance to get to our bride, Megha. And things get off to a really bad start. We meet our newlyweds, Megha and Sahil, and they're on their way to his ancestral village to do some post-wedding rituals. But what's supposed to be this happy, celebratory time? Well, it's about to take a very, very dark turn. Now, the main setting here is a haveli, and if you're not familiar, we're not just talking about a big house. Think of a grand historical mansion, the kind that's filled with generations of family history and tradition. And as we're about to find out, Sahil's family haveli isn't the only one that matters in this story. This right here, this is the moment where it all goes wrong. While they're traveling, Megha spots another haveli, but this one is run down, totally abandoned. And she feels this strange, unexplainable pull towards it. She becomes obsessed, and completely against Sahil's warnings, she insists they have to go inside so she can take a picture. This place, this is the Chausar Haveli. The second, and I mean the literal second, Megha steps into that courtyard, the warning signs are immediate, and they are not subtle. A massive swarm of bats just erupts from a nearby tree, and a swing over in the yard starts swaying back and forth all by itself. Yeah, this haveli is definitely not empty. And the horror follows her home. There's this really important ritual called Griha Pravesh, where a new bride is supposed to use her right foot to gently kick a pot of rice into the house. It's symbolic, right? It welcomes prosperity. But what does Megha do? The exact opposite. She uses her left foot and kicks the rice outwards, away from the home. For her new family, this is a terrible, terrible omen. It's like she just violently rejected her own future with them. And that bad omen, oh, that was just the beginning. In the days that follow, it becomes painfully clear that something followed Megha home from the haveli, because the new bride they thought they knew, well, she starts to change in some really disturbing ways. The first person to really notice is Sahil's mother, Malini. She hears Megha in her bedroom, which is locked, just laughing and chatting away like she's got a friend in there with her. But when Malini manages to get into the room, it's completely empty. It just leaves this creepy question hanging in the air. Who was the bride talking to? Then her behavior becomes impossible to ignore. In the kitchen, she approaches her brother-in-law with this really weird, intense energy that makes him super uncomfortable. But when he offers her prasad, which is a blessed food offering from the temple, she physically recoils, shrieks like she's been burned, and runs away. Then get this, moments later, she comes back, but she's a totally different person. She's shy, she's traditional. It's like a switch was flipped. It's clear there are two people fighting for control inside her body. Okay, so this is where things go from just unsettling to pure, unfiltered terror. Sahil has to go away for a friend's wedding for just one night, leaving his mother, Malini, all alone in this massive haveli with the woman who is definitely not the Megha they know anymore. Late that night, Malini hears a man's voice, and it's coming from Megha's room. So she cautiously creeps up to the door and peeks through a little crack, and the sight that meets her eyes is just absolutely bone-chilling. Here's the thing, there was no man in the room. The sound was coming from Megha herself. This horrifying, totally unnatural dual voice, a man's and a woman's at the exact same time, was coming out of her throat as she sat there in the dark on a rocking chair, just laughing like a maniac. As you can imagine, Malini runs. She sprints to her room, locks the door, but the entity follows her. She then has to endure a whole night of just absolute terror. There's this frantic, inhuman pounding on her door, then Megha's ghostly pale face just pops up in the peephole. And then, the final straw. Bloody footprints start appearing out of thin air on her floor, only to vanish a few seconds later. The next morning, a completely distraught Sahil returns, and Malini is more than ready to tell him everything. But he arrives with his own impossible story, a story that twists this whole mystery into something even more terrifying. And this is where your brain just kind of breaks.
Sahil's story introduces this classic doppelganger situation it defies all logic. How can one person be in two separate places at the exact same time?
So check this out. According to Malini, Megha was in the haveli all night, being an absolute monster. But according to Sahil, Megha was with him at a wedding the entire time, right up until 4 a.m. when she just mysteriously vanished into thin air. Both of these stories can't possibly be true, but both of them are 100% certain about what they saw. So at this point, they are desperate, they are terrified, and they finally realize they are way out of their depth. They know they need help, so they seek out a wise, holy man known as the Pahadi Baba to try and figure out the secret of the Chausar Haveli. And the Baba immediately hones in on the root of the problem. The moment Megha went into that abandoned Haveli, he asks Sahil to show him the photograph, the one Megha was so insistent on taking. He has a sense that the proof was right there with them the whole time. And there it is, the horrifying reveal. When they look at the photo, standing just behind a smiling Megha is a Kali part shy, a clear, distinct black shadow of a person that was not there when the picture was taken. A dark entity had latched onto her, and they had the photographic proof. The Baba identifies this entity as a jinn. Now, in folklore, a jinn is an incredibly powerful and usually pretty evil kind of spirit. They are famous for being able to possess people and, importantly, create powerful illusions, which suddenly explains how Maya could have appeared to be in two places at once. So, now they finally know what they're up against. The Baba leads Sahil and Malini right back to where it all started, the Chausar Haveli. They have to go to the source of the evil to confront this jinn and hopefully save Megha.
When they get inside, they find Megha on that same exact swing, just lost in this manic laughter. The Baba doesn't waste any time. He creates a protective circle around her and starts chanting these powerful mantras. The jinn, of course, fights back. You can hear its horrible dual voice shrieking, but the sacred ritual is just too strong. And finally, with one last scream, it's forced out, and Megha collapses, unconscious but free.
With Megha finally safe, the Baba seals the entrance of the Chausar Haveli with a blessed thread, but he gives the family a final, very chilling warning. The powerful jinn is still inside that Haveli, and no woman from the village should ever risk going near that cursed place again. But the story gives us one last haunting image. Hours later, long after Megha is safe and the family is gone, we see the abandoned Chausar Haveli one more time, and in the dead silence of that courtyard, the swing begins to move again, all on its own. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Was the jinn truly defeated, or is it just patiently waiting for its next victim?